Hi, Jim here with today's thought. And today, well, you may have heard this phrase, well, maybe from me, but I've read it. I wish I could give the original speaker of this phrase the credit, but I don't remember who it is. But however much you hate the liberal media, you don't hate them enough. And we're going to have a prime example of why, however much you hate the liberal media, you don't hate them enough. And it's very, well, there was one very honest, give her credit, journalist, I can't remember her name either, but liberal journalist who said that the purpose of journalism today, reporting, should not be merely to report, should not be just to give us the facts, describe what happens. And actually, you know, that's a lot of the reason there were reporters in the first place. This goes back to hundreds of years ago, before we had modern communication, where you got all your information from a newspaper, such as during the Civil War. So to know what was happening anywhere, somebody had to report it and write it down and then transmit it to somebody else. Or then you had telegraph. During the Civil War, you could telegraph a story into a paper, get it in there really fast. But if you didn't hear from somebody or read it in the paper, you didn't have the news, so you needed reporters. But now, for instance, why do you have to have reporters to report on a press conference, for instance? Because you can just replay the conference. You have it. Or, well, their job should be just to describe what, say, if it's a press conference, like I just saw one, I'm recording this today before you're seeing it, the president talking about this tragic air crash, you know, the collision between the passenger airliner and the Black Hawk, the military helicopter. Very sadly, over 60 people died. But the questions that the reporters, the questions that they ask, some of them, you can tell who's a hostile reporter and who's not, because they ask questions that really are not intended to provide information. And just reports on a news conference. Let's say you didn't see the conference, so you just you watch the evening news, you read a newspaper. Just be a dry description of what the president said. And if you're not going to print the whole news, let's say in this case a news conference, then you can be then that's another problem. A reporter can be very selective on what parts, questions and answers are reported. But this journalist I was referring to said, well, our job is to social justice. I always have trouble with that, social justice, social security. And I was just getting complimented the other day on my ability to, how well I pronounced a particular word. I can't remember what the word was. But so I still have some work to do. But getting off the track, as I often do, the point is that these journalists are on a mission. And I mentioned this before, I actually took Journalism 101. And what a reporter is supposed to do is I learned, it was called the pyramid system. And you start, if you're a busy commuter or whatever, you open your paper and everything you need to know should be in the first paragraph. It was what they called the 5 W's. Who, what, where, when, why. Who, what, where, when, why. And you could also throw in a how, an H. All that should be in the first paragraph. You get everything you need to know basically in that first paragraph, and then succeeding paragraphs would go into more and more detail. And that was also for the editor, because unlike the internet, where you have unlimited space, pixels to report something, newspaper, you have so many column inches. So it allowed the editor to cut off the story anywhere after the first paragraph, and you would still have all the essential information. That was the idea. What I'm getting at, it was supposed to be more objective, but now these liberal journalists especially, they see themselves as on a mission to create, as the beauty contest contestant, what do you want to do, what's your career goal, whatever. I want to make a difference, and that's what some of these journalists have actually said. That I can't remember where I heard it or read it, but they said, I want to make a difference. And your job is not to make a difference. Your job is just to report facts, what people say and what people do, and maybe some analysis, but the analysis goes in the opinion section, not in the news section. So what this is bringing me to is an especially egregious example, and it's New York Magazine. It's an article, it was a cover story in New York Magazine. I'm going to put up you know what? I'll put the cover up right now. So here it is. The Cruel Kids Table, out late with the young right as they contemplate cultural domination. Okay, so you can already see this is going to be a hit piece on the right and on the young right especially, and you could understand why this paper, and it's a magazine, it's not a news, it's not straight news reporting, so they get a pass, but obviously they are distressed about what we saw in the last election, where you saw and still see young people increasingly moving to the right. And in fact, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe Trump's approval rating among the young is positive, is in the 50s. So they're a little distressed about this, and obviously the purpose of this article is, to make smug liberals feel even more smug, number one, but number two, I guess to make young people who are on the right feel ashamed or something, so that they will move back to the left, or those who are on the left will not go to the right. Anyways, obviously there is an axe to grind, and there's a purpose here. But let me put this up. This is one line from the article. Okay, you see it there in the clear print. Have you noticed the entire room is white? And you saw in that photo, everybody in that photo was white. But look at this photo. This photo is obviously the photo that's on the cover, but it's a wider view. And what is it showing? It's showing the part of the photo the art director cut out that you didn't get to see. And as you can see the circles to the left of the photo. There are black people in there. Okay, the room was not all white. It was white people and black people, more white people than black people, because amazing fact, in the entire country there are more white people than black people. So you're going, unless you're talking about some black event, then Black Lives Matter meeting or something, or the NAACP, or Al Sharpton or something, holding one of his prayer, one of his sermons. Most people or a black church, then most people are white. So that explains why most of the people are white, but there are black people there. Black people were there. You see them, they are circled there, but this art director deliberately left them out of the photo. Why? To attack to attack the right, but the young people on the right, and to make them seem like they're racist, to brand the Republican Party, to brand conservatives as racist. That's the only reason for cropping that photo the way it is. Obviously, you could not fit that entire photo into, you'd have to make it very small, but they did not have to crop it the way they cropped it. But if they cropped it honestly, then that whole article is useless. And that's not what they want, because they're on a mission. They have a point to make that proves it. And as I said, however much you hate the liberal media, you need to hate them more. And that's it. But something you could love is this vlog. And if you love it enough to subscribe, that would really be great. Your comments, always welcome in the comments section below the video. Share the video with anyone you think would benefit from it. But most of all, come back and see me again. I would love to see all of you again. And by the way, I hit 800 subscribers today. So I was hovering at 798 for the last week or so, and now I got 2 more in the last day. And thank you very much. Now 800. Let's shoot for 1,000. Let's shoot for 1 million. Why be modest? And I guess that's it now for sure. So see you next time. Bye.